Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of Talking Elite Fitness. It's Sunday after the games. We're joined by the new fittest man on earth, the fittest man on earth, and his coach. We got Justin Medeiros and Adam Neiffer. Guys, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing freaking awesome.
Yeah, I
don't know about you guys, but dude, I'm on a high right now. It's been unreal, and just like last year was so different, and to go here with like just the whole experience, man, was just obviously this is my second year at the games, but it's just like my rookie year. I mean, everything was just so new, and like just try to soak in as many experiences as I could, and like man, it's just so many good memories.
And how did those experiences compare? Because you said it's different. We are in Madison, different location, different vibe, different athlete feel. What were the things that kind of stood out to you when you reflect on both of them?
Yeah, dude. I mean, last year, the things that just like stood out, man, it felt like a business trip. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we're going out there for like work, and like this is what we're doing. Obviously, there was some like awesome moments. I mean, being with like just 5 male, 5 female athletes. I mean, we got so close with everybody, and those are like I made some like friendships with people that like I'm so grateful for. Like I don't think like in this year's setting, like I didn't get to be as close like with the athletes because there's 40 of us there, you know what I mean? Like we're all, when we're in the warm-up area, we're warming up and cooling down, and like we have off time, we're like trying to sleep or do whatever. But at last year's games, we just kind of like got to post up, talk, like they made us be together, and we really just got to talk and hang out. But
that's awesome.
I would never take away that experience, but like being here with like a crowd in the stadium is just like an experience that you can't beat.
Some people may not know the story behind how you got Adam as your head coach. How did that whole thing come about?
Yeah, dude, kind of a long story, but
okay.
like
It's like all the time you need.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so like we so I've been doing CrossFit for a long time. I just joined my local gym back home, and the owner of that gym, I started like competing in sports, not especially competing in CrossFit, and he just started giving me extra programming to help me with wrestling and football. And then I started doing like our like local box competitions, like we had like Wadding Cause and 31 Heroes and just like all this stuff, and he kept helping me out, and it kind of grew into a competitive relationship where I was trying to like make regionals, and when we did it, we got there, and I ended up leaving to go to Boise, and I joined Boise CrossFit, and I was working out by myself, doing like the programming that my coach back home was giving me. And one of my buddies here, son, he started working out with me because I was working out by myself all the time. And dude, I just became super close with him. He was like my best friend there in Boise. I wasn't like too much in like the college scene. I was just kind of at the gym and got best friends with him. I was ended up being his wedding and everything. So well, we're super close. But he was like, dude, man, like your coach sucks pretty much right now. Like, you can do a lot better. So he's you
can hear the crowd on that one.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, like my old coach was awesome. He's one of my best friends and like good guy, but like he just started moving on from CrossFit, and I still felt like I had a lot left to do in it.
Yeah.
And he's been to the games in 2015 and 16, I think, on a team.
Oh, okay.
So like he's around, knows the space, and was trying to help me like get a coach that can help me get to that next level. So we were reaching out to like all the main programs, Boot Strength, Invictus, Comp Train, just trying to get my foot in the door somewhere. And all of them were like, oh yeah, dude, join right now, $400 a month. And I'm like in college, and I'm like, dude, I don't got $400 a month. Like I really want to be a CrossFit Games athlete, but like $400 a month, that's a punch in the gut right there.
Oh,
so we were reaching out to some people, and like it didn't really, like everyone just like felt like they wanted my money, you know what I mean? They just like reached out, and they were like, yeah, man, join right away, like we got this. And it was right during the 2019 Open, and son was like, oh dude, I didn't even think about this guy like Adam Neiffer, like, and I honestly had no idea who him was. He's like, dude, he's been on an affiliate team past 10 years. To his resume, I started Googling him, looking him up, and all those things. I was
Coach
like,
Team USA.
Yeah, man, just like all these crazy accolades. And son kept reaching out to him. He kept saying no. And finally he asked me to like write a letter just to kind of see like who I am as a person, my values, like why I do CrossFit, like, and my plans for the sport. And I later came to find out that he didn't think I was going to respond. He's like, oh, this college kid is not going to freaking take the time to write a letter. But like, I responded the next day. I was like, I wrote the letter. Like, I'm a terrible writer. So I had like my mom and my sisters proofread it, make sure it was good. Like, and we put it all together and sent it to him. And man, I don't know if you want to take it from there. If you see how that side of the story went.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I was first really surprised to even get this letter. I was like, no way he's gonna do it. He's a college kid. This isn't happening. And then I read it. I was like, huh, that's not your normal 19, 20-year-old for sure. And he talked about why he competed in CrossFit, what was like the most important to him, which turns out it's all these people, his family.
And if you're not watching at home, his whole family and his whole crew is sitting here watching as well.
Yeah.
Like, they roll in a pack. They roll deep.
Yes.
Dude, and like just a side note, like that hasn't changed since the day I met him.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty awesome. And but even at that point, you know, I was like, oh, cool letter. Didn't really consider it until I showed it to my wife, Lauren.
Yeah.
And she was like, you should do it. And I was like, what? And she's like, no, you should do it. You'd be good at it and make you happy. And that was the first time I considered it. And then from there, it was like, hey, you know, the remote coaching, that's one thing. But if we're going to work together, like, we got to be together. Mm-hmm. And I said, if you want to do this, you just got to come out to Vancouver for the summer. And that was in probably March of 2019. And the other thing he said in that first letter, he was like, hey, I got a year and a half left at college, and my dream is to go compete at the CrossFit Games. And he's like, I'm gonna put everything I can into making that happen in the next year and a half. After that, I'll graduate. I'll move on with my life. I'll go get a real job, whatever the next chapter is. Yeah. And so I'm thinking like, okay, we got a year and a half to make it happen. And shoot, I think we passed that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know about moving on at this point now.
Yeah.
Why did you keep saying no?
You know, anybody that's competed, I never competed at the level that Justin is at, but
Lies.
Anybody that's competed at the CrossFit Games will tell you that, what they do out there on the competition floor is the fun part, but the constant hours of training, being disciplined to get enough sleep, rest, recovery, nutrition, all of those are the things that make the amazing feats that they do out in the Coliseum possible. And my wife Lauren kind of put up with me doing that and made a lot of sacrifice for our family for 10 years. And so it was time for me personally to step away and to start doing my actual job at our affiliate and just be more present, take some family trips in the summer, do some stuff with my kids and that type of thing. And so that's why I stepped away. Wasn't really interested in getting back into things until I met Justin. And it's become, just like, it's a really amazing experience for me in that I get to hopefully share some of the things that I learned over the years, pass those on to Justin, see him excel, but also still maintain the life balance of being present with my family at the same time. And, it can be better.
Yeah. I was going to say, one thing you mentioned there is life balance. And I feel like, the life has probably changed for you in the last year since finishing third at the games. What were some keys to you for like maintaining that balance when you have to do media stuff, sponsors come calling and all the things that come with being a professional athlete? Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely something that's new, but like I've always been like such a big family guy, and like this is like my team, you know what I mean? Like we do everything together, and that they're always just super supportive with me. And I like made it a point, like I don't want to sign with just like any other people. Like if I'm going to sign with someone, like I want this to be meaningful, and like I want to have a relationship with the people. I just don't want to be like message them back and forth on emails or whatever it is. Like I just want to work with good people, and and if I can do that, I know like the rest will come. And I think that's what happened, and it happened to be like some of the best freaking people out there with like Rogue and Noble and freaking 321 Podium and and Go Wad, and just all those people have just been like so supportive of what I've done. And it hasn't been like it's so weird, like I have an agent, you know what I mean? But like it's like I see these guys and they're like they're not my agent or sponsors. What I mean, like these are just like my friends and people that want to support me and help me achieve the things that I want to achieve. And it's that's just like the biggest thing. I mean, just having these people that want to make me better and just perform and compete to the best of my ability, bring out the best in me, and that's like something that's awesome. There's not too many people out there like that, and the more people I can surround myself with that are just like all in it's just awesome.
Yeah. At what point did you know you were good at this?
Man, I don't want to tell myself I'm good at any point. I mean,
you can tell yourself you're good now, Justin. You just won the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like I always thought like I pride myself on being very athletic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be bad at anything. If you beat me in something, I'm going to learn how to do it so I can beat you in it later. You know what I mean? I don't care what that is. That it could be literally anything. Like, I learned how to juggle and just like playing new board games like cribbage, and like they're just like stupid.
You're still learning how to play cribbage.
Yeah. Calm down.
right.
Like learning just like ride a unicycle. I just want to be able to like do everything, you know what I mean? And like CrossFit, that's what it is, like be able to do everything. But even after the last year, like getting third at the games, it was like, I mean, obviously that's awesome. Like, I mean, to be on the podium like any year, let alone my rookie year, is like something that's unbelievable and something I'll never forget. But like me and him talk, like we train every day to work on our weaknesses. So every day in training, like I feel terrible, like then not just from like a fitness standpoint, but it's just like I'm working on things that I suck at, and it's just that there's people out there better than you, and it's just like a hard feeling. So you don't ever know where you sit throughout the year. But last year I was like, dude, I got third place and I have so many things I'm bad at. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much more room to grow, and I still feel like that after this year. There's so many things where I can move the needle in, but yeah, man, I think I can say I'm good after this year.
Yeah, I would say so. I think you put on a pretty good display in that regard. Kind of walking through the weekend, I know it's tough to like think about that in the moment, but when you look back at a couple of events, were there any ones where you were particularly like pumped or excited about, or you really found yourself enjoying your time out in the competition floor?
Yeah, man, I think that's something that's like was really important to me. I remember when I first made the games last year in Ireland, it was an awesome experience. Don't get me wrong.
We were there.
Yeah, dude, it was freaking sweet. But I was so like paranoid about it. You know what I mean? I never really got to like soak in the moment because I was so stressed. And then I was like, okay, like act like you've been here before. Like don't celebrate too much. You know what I mean? I was just like overthinking things. Like my dad ran up and gave me a hug, and he was so excited, and I felt like I was just trying to like downplay things. Never just really got to soak it in, and just kind of like leading into this year, like going to the MAC and stuff. Like I just want to like enjoy some of these moments after the workouts. I wanted to go say hi to my family, and the same thing this year. And there was definitely some moments like in this year's games where I was just like, I want to enjoy this moment. And like the ones that just stand out is like the on Wednesdays, the thruster workout, man. Like I knew I had the lead. Like normally like the old Justin would have just like, whatever, just like finish it quick, finish it. You got first in your heat. That's awesome. But like, I was like, dude, I'm in the freaking Coliseum at the CrossFit Games. Like, I'm going to enjoy this moment. Like, got the crowd into it, hit my last lift, and just freaking was pumped. And like, I was talking to him. I was like, dude, I've never had a bigger adrenaline dump than the clean workout, the first clean workout. Dude, I didn't win the workout. I don't even think I won my heat. But I like, it was for you guys don't know what workout it was the first clean event, and it was a ladder with a run before each bar. Yeah. And I've been chasing Brent and Patrick on the leaderboard all time, and they both got to the bar before me, and as I was getting to pick up my bar, because they already lifted it before me, they both failed. I like made the lift and crossed the finish line. I think my chip timer said I made it by like 0.04 seconds. But I like crossed the finish line, and I couldn't even tell you what happened. I was so freaking fired up. Like, I have never had that big of an adrenaline dump. And like we talk about after each workout, like calm, cool, collective, move on to the next one. It's just the next workout. I came back after that workout. I was like, Adam, I need to calm the F down. I am so wired up right now. I was like, I am so high. I was like, I need to bring this down a couple notches. So there was a lot of moments like that, and just like crossing the finish line on that last event. I didn't know my family was going to be like right at the finish line. Like, that's something that was like, I'm always going to remember. And I didn't know that they were there until I crossed the finish line. You know what I mean? Like, I think
it was better that way.
Yeah, dude, it was unreal, dude. I was like locked in on that workout, and like I told myself all weekend, I want to win this thing like on my terms. I don't want to have to be like, okay, I got to win this event, and I need 3 people to finish in between, like me and whoever. You know what I mean? I want to go out there and freaking compete, and like that's what we did, and put myself in a good position to do that at the end of the weekend. But like to cross that finish line in a sizable lead where I wasn't rushed and just got to like soak in that moment with like my mom and my dad was something I'll never forget.
Other than calm him down, what are the type of things that you try to do this week to help him be successful?
Man, I carry his bags back and forth to the stadium. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
You know, I think like Justin makes it easy. He's so humble. He didn't come in here like, yeah, I'm going to win the CrossFit Games. You know, he wasn't walking around saying, look what I did last year, and these guys aren't here this year, so it's mine to lose or whatever. He just came in here and he's like, I'm going to compete the very best I possibly can. And the whole year we really just talked about like, hey, if a year from now, looking back to last year's games, if we can make sure that Justin Medeiros is fitter in every facet than he was at last year's games, like, it doesn't guarantee anything, but it puts us in a position to have a favorable outcome, right? And it gives us an opportunity to be in the hunt. And that's what we focused on literally all year. We weren't worrying about what other people were doing. We were just like, how do we get better? And it's really cool to see, a year later for that to happen. We have Jesse from Squamish Barbell here. He helped Justin get stronger the entire year.
Yeah.
He's been a part of our team, taking care of a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you just don't see out there on the competition floor.
Yeah.
And then just taking one workout at a time, figuring out like, hey, how are we going to approach this to give yourself the best shot?
Yeah. And as a coach, sometimes we'll talk to a coach and, they're working on various things to make them better. But as a competition plays out, there's maybe that one moment you're like, yes, that is the better version. Like that's where it paid off, whether it's lifting and showcasing your top end strength, or you worked on running and you had a top 10 finish. Was there an event or a finish for Justin where that kind of sealed the deal as far as like, yeah, we've been working on that, and that was a huge moment?
Oh man, there's 37. It's like it's seriously like really difficult to pick one. He mentioned the thruster workout. I think it was the final event Wednesday night, and it was kind of one of those, classic CrossFit Games events. It's like, okay, who's willing to suffer the most? And a year ago, we had a heavy thruster event at the 2020 CrossFit Games. I think it was called Happy Star.
Yep.
And those thrusters were heavy. He finished last at 2020 Games. This year he won his heat. I think he finished second to that event. So it's like, yep, that's a better version of Justin.
Yeah.
Look at the handstand, the freestanding handstand.
Amazing.
Push-ups. I'm not going to pretend that we were like working on those all the time, but he finished his last handstand push-up on the final line, which should have been the last rep in our mind, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, there was a counting error or whatever. He had one more, right? But he didn't even phase him. He just went and did the next rep, finished it, moved on. But a less seasoned athlete, like that can be devastating, right? And so, I mean, there's so many examples like that throughout the week that we're like, nope. If you're a winner, that's what winners do.
Yep.
And that's what he did.
When you look back at 2020 and your performance there, and when you broke that down, I know it's different than what you guys face here with only 5 people, but what were the main lessons you learned? And then how did you apply that to training moving forward?
You want to start there?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think about, there was obviously like some glaring things that were out there where I just didn't do bad in. You can look at the CrossFit total. I mean, my shoulder press was so far under everyone else's, and like my squat and deadlift were there to compete. I mean, there's obviously a lot of glaring things like that, but there's also so many other things where it's like just deficiencies in other like areas, and that's why like Adam's like so awesome. Like he's humble enough to be like, hey man, I'm not an expert in this area, but I know someone else that is, and we're gonna bring someone else on who knows what they're doing, and we're gonna get better at this. And I don't think there's a lot of coaches out there that could do that, to like be able to admit that like, hey, I know, like obviously Adam knows a little bit about everything, but there's always someone out there that knows more, and Adam's always willing to like go out there and find that person. And like that year was like Jesse from we Zoomed did like a little FaceTime call 3 times a week that were like an hour and a half, 2 hours long every week for the past 8 months, and it was a slow, long process, but like, dude, like it's so worth it, like to get here. And but like taking it back to what you said, like after last year's games, I think not so much to work on, but like after that year's games, like I felt like I had so much to work on, but I knew every day in the gym I was giving it everything I had. And on the ride home, we were just like, dude, like if you're out there giving it your best, like your best is going to be enough. And I think I had that mindset this year. Like you're going to have these bad days and good days and highs and lows, but like long as you're giving it your best effort every day, like that's going to be enough, and just focus on that. And that's what we did this year. And like you said, like I'm just going to beat myself from last year, and that's all I can focus on. I can't focus on how much someone else is lifting or how fast people are doing other workouts. I just got to focus on me and just try to beat myself. And if I could do that, like I'll be in a good position to win.
One event that I thought was particularly impressive on your end was the snatch event, because you were the leader and you had to go last.
Yeah.
And you had to watch all the other guys go before Can you kind of talk us through your mindset, what's going through your head, especially as you have to watch the guys that are chasing you walk past you every time?
Yeah, man, that event in the weekend like stood out for me just from a point like I've never been more nervous for an event in my life, dude. I was out there like I was like, dude, like looked like I was looking through like one of those like drunk containers. Like everything was like twisting. I was like, dude, I have so much like stuff running through my body right now. Like I have like so much adrenaline and nerves and all this stuff. Like that event like is like my max is 285 and like if you can hit that on event 12 of a weekend, like that would be awesome. But like all these guys are the max, they all have hit 300 and stuff before. I'm like, this event could really like take a toll on me. Like this is going to be a defining moment for me this weekend. Like, and I hit the 260 bar and that did not go well. That did not go well.
What's going through your head? Because you missed the 260. Anyone that's listening hasn't watched yet. You missed the first attempt at 260.
I did not miss it. It was just a very ugly 260. Let's be clear. I didn't miss it, but it was not pretty. But yeah, dude. I mean, I think just like staying calm and like.
Wait, didn't you miss the first attempt and then reload? Oh man, I misremember
I don't think
that.
So maybe I'm remembering
I
it wrong.
sworn
I did that at 285.
Okay, I thought you pulled and popped off the front and then like reloaded.
I didn't.
And,
I caught it and I should have dropped it, but I managed to stand it up.
I over dramatized that in my head then.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
man, it was not a good lift at all. It was way too forward. Like had to strain myself to get it up, but like in those moments, like we always have like bad lifts, but like. I've done thousands of reps of snatches and like I might not be the best snatch out there, but like my body knows that movement, you know what I mean? And I just got to trust in my training. If you just start like overthinking things, like everything's going to go wrong. Like we just got to like trust like what we've done in our game plan and all those reps that we did, like it's going to count off. Like we have like those 1 or 2 cues that I'm thinking about before I hit that lift. And it's like the constant haze in the barn. There's nothing I can do now to make me better at this event. I just got to go out and do what I can. And I think that kind of like calms you down. Like, hey, I'm not going to get stronger right now. You know what I mean? Like that work's already been done a long time ago. So just to go out there with that ease, like, hey man, I just got to perform the best I can. And to go out there and freaking hit 285, which is my max that I hit at the MAC. I've only hit that one lift like ever, was a big moment for me. Although in that event, I feel like that was the only time in the weekend where I left some points on the board when I went to the tie break and I missed my last snatch at 225. And that was like a little hard for me to swallow because like I had some like, I mean, it wasn't my worst finish of the weekend, but it was the first time I finished the event and I was like, dude, I left some points on the board. Like that wasn't like the best reflection of my fitness. Obviously I snatched 285, which was awesome. I'm super happy about that, but I felt like I was a missed opportunity at 225.
I think you had the leader's jersey after event 7, and then you never gave it up. But when you got that thing, like now that's like everyone putting like a giant target on you.
Yeah.
How does that shift the way that you're approaching the competition and what's going on in your head from there on out?
It would have switched it a lot, but like I have this guy Wick with me, and he's just, dude, it's just awesome having there. I mean, he's my coach, but he's also one of my best friends, and just like, he knows how to talk me through it and like ease those nerves and stuff. I remember we got it on. He's like, all right, man, like let's go for a walk. I mean, like we walked away from everybody and he's like, all right, let's get a picture. so like we walked in and
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, we walked back there. We got a picture and like, and I think that's kind of like our like kind of motto for the weekend. Like, hey man, we're going to enjoy the moments when they're there and then move past them. Like after each event, like celebrate it if it was awesome. If it wasn't good, like get those emotions out so you can just like move on to the next thing. And we got to acknowledge the fact that like, dude, this is freaking awesome. I'm wearing a freaking leader shirt right now at the CrossFit Games. Like this is unreal. Like just like to acknowledge that moment. Because if you don't acknowledge it, then you're going to be sitting the rest of the weekend like you never got that out of your system. So you're just going to be thinking about it. And that's not something I would have done. But like to have him there and just kind of like ease those nerves, kind of make some jokes and have some fun with it. But also like realize that, hey man, like you got a target now. Like you got to go out there and execute. And that didn't change our game plan based off the shirt I'm wearing. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to change anything we're doing, but still acknowledging the fact that like, hey man, like we did this and this is one step closer in our end goal.
How much Cinnamon Toast Crunch are you going to eat for the next week?
Well, I've already had 2 boxes this week, so we've already put a good dent on that.
Got to get those numbers up.
Dude, I know. Those are rookie numbers, huh? Rookie numbers. So, but yeah, man, I'm just like looking forward to enjoying some time with friends and family. There's so many people that like have made this happen. So I'm going to go back home to California to like my hometown, like see everybody at that gym. I'm going to pop up to Vancouver for a day, load up all my stuff, and then go back to Boise, man. I haven't been there for like 2 years, so I'm excited just to get back up there and enjoy it. But yeah.
It's crazy. Finish up school?
Yeah. I had to take a semester off, so this would have been my senior year. So I have 1 more semester to finish. And I only have 2 classes, though, so I'm super pumped.
Oh,
Tuesday and Wednesday, 5-day weekend.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
it's going to be awesome. But I'm going to enjoy some time, like, obviously, like, go travel, like, probably go see my girlfriend and just kind of, like, enjoy some, like, good things. I mean, it's been a crazy year, especially with COVID and stuff. I haven't get to do much. I'm not a big travel guy or anything, but if something comes up, like, I want to be able to travel, go back home, see my family, see my friends, and just kind of enjoy the off season.
Can you pay for tuition with a gigantic check? Is that
I don't
is that
know,
possible?
but I'm going to try. I'm going to walk in
You
and
should
be
walk
like,
and just sit on the table. I love it.
I don't think they're going to turn that thing down in Boise. They will find a way to cash that.
Oh man,
Just walk that into try to jam it into the ATM machine if people still do that. But if I went back to 2019, I remember the first time I saw you compete was at Filthy 150, and I told you after that event, in 2021, you're going to be the fittest man on earth. What do you think you would have said?
No way, man. Dude, I mean, I think everything, I mean, even like, it's just like crazy. I mean, after Filthy 150, I would have never said I was going to win that event. Like, we walked into it, I mean, I did. It's like, I'm trying to get top 10. You know what I mean? Like that would be like a realistic, honest goal. And this guy's telling me going into that year, man, if you don't make it to the CrossFit Game this year, you need to get a new coach, because he always, I mean, in a way, he just always said, like, he knows what I'm capable of, and if I don't do it, that's on him. And I'm like, please no, please stay. I need you for this. You know what I mean? And he just had just like he's family, man, and just like my family's like always known like I've like could do it, and I feel like that's their job. For one, they're not going to tell me, yeah, man, you're going to go out there and lose the CrossFit Games. You know, like they can't say that, but they've had like the biggest support. I mean, they come out for every event, all the way to Ireland to the CrossFit Games last year. They couldn't even watch, but they were still there. I mean, obviously it was my hometown, but like they still drove 2 hours and camped. You know what I mean? At my grandpa's house. So it's just awesome having that support crew.
Oh man,
How much better can he get?
Oh man, the sky. I mean, the sky is really the limit. It's crazy. Before this year or before this game started, we were like, man, this guy could get first or he could get 10th, and either way, it's gonna be like good, because we know there's room to improve. And I mean, I still feel that way. He had an amazing week. It's crazy, but it's not like, well, that's as good as this guy gets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's a little too soon to start talking about where we go from here.
Right.
Because, to be honest, he's had a long season, right? Last year, it finished in October, and it was kind of right back into the mix. So it's going to be awesome to have some downtime and enjoy this a little bit. And, you haven't seen the last of him, though.
oh man, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
100% sure.
One of my favorite, like, I think a lot of people don't know, like, how close and how, I don't want to say tough breaks you've had as far as, like, competing early on. But, you know, you just missed out as a teenager. Realignment for regionals is what kept you out of the games. If, you know, we've talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, when they switched the California region, combined it with the West, if they'd kept it the same, you would have gone to the games from California. Like, that level of resiliency to, like, keep your head down and keep coming forward. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like my sports background and like number one, like my family and stuff. I mean, like they're there for me like no matter what, and they always like knew that I'm like capable of great things, and just having that like support through me, like, hey man, like it's okay, like kind of like that. I was like, good, you know what I mean? Like when you do make it, it's gonna feel that much better, and that's like just kind of what my mind was set on. Like I didn't make it as a teenager. It's like, all right, like, well, the big boy division's where it's at anyways, you know what I mean? And then you go to the California regional, and I got 15th, I think, my first time, and I was like, all right, like next year's my year. And then it got to the hardest, like it was like, I mean, everyone thinks their regional's the hardest, but it was a bigger regional, and it was one of the tougher ones, and I was like,
it was the biggest regional. Right?
Yeah, I was like, good. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna make the games, like I want to make it out of the hardest one. Like, I don't want to be in the easiest regional and make the games. You know what I mean? Like, when I get my spot at the games, like I want to be a contender. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go into the games and get last. Like, that's not me. Like, I want to be competitive. I want to compete, and I'm so grateful for all those experiences. I mean, obviously, I wish I made the games the past 5 years. You know what I mean? But that didn't happen. But I think just all those learning experiences, I wouldn't trade those things for anything.
Speaking of learning, what did you learn from Matt Fraser?
Dude, so much. I mean, the guy is like, he truly is the best to ever do it. And he was on another level than any other athlete. And I got to see that firsthand, like last year at the games. And just to like call him like my friend now and have him to come out there and to show me a little bit of what his past 5 years looked like. And I think a lot of what he had was like a mindset like towards training, like just like one of the biggest examples that stood up for me is like we were doing a 9-round rowing session. You know what I mean? It was a minute 40 of work, 20 seconds of rest. And it was 5 rounds of that, 2-minute rest, and then 4 rounds of that again. And he's like telling me how this is like one of the worst workouts he's ever done because there's a pace, like the pace that you have to hold. Like he wanted me to hold for that. It's really hard. Like I've done it a couple times. I never did it. And then someone did it and he didn't think it was possible. Then he went and did it. He's like, this pace is possible. I want you to know that. And it's a 9-round workout. And he's like, you do the first 7 rounds for those last 2 rounds because you're going to get through 7. And those last 2, that's where the wheels come off. And that's where you get better. Like, are you really going to go through all 7 of those rounds just to not get better? Like, that's where the work gets put in. And just kind of having that mindset of, like, when you're in training to being like, nope, like, this is supposed to hurt. Like, it's not a good feeling, but, like, this is where I get better. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I push. So just kind of, like, having, like, a lot of those experiences and freaking having the freaking 5-time champ sitting there watching me do this workout. Like, dude, I can't freaking pass out now. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta man up and freaking hit this workout. Like, I'm gonna die before they freaking get me off this rower. So
Good motivation.
yeah,
for sure.
man. I mean, dude, I started that workout. I think it's like a 20-minute workout or however long it is. And I'm like in round 2, and then I see him like run out the door, and I'm like, oh, like that's weird. And I guess I'm not that interesting. You know what I mean? And then he comes back, and like I saw him come back, and then I just hear 2 chairs just like pop out. Gave one to Adam, gave one for self, and they just sat behind me in chairs and just watched this workout. And they're just staring at my monitor at the pace that I'm holding, just didn't say a word. I was like, oh, this is gonna get good.
You're just that interesting that they needed to sit down.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's just like another spot where I can get so much better. There's just so much machine work and. Dude, I only got first place in one event, so obviously there's a lot of things I can get better. There's 14 other events, right? I can improve, and that's how we look at each like event. Dude, there's someone that did it better than me. That means I can get better in it too. So just trying to like see as many different people as I can, train with as many people as I can, because the more people you train with, the more you learn, and just trying to be like a student of the sport. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that Matt can teach me, but like freaking Scott Panchek, like the OG of the sport, been around for 10 years. Like there's so many things we can learn from him, and looking back at old games and people's strategies, and just there's so much to learn from everybody. So like just I want to meet and train with as many people as I can, and just take bits and pieces everywhere I can.
Yeah. Last time I heard someone say, yeah, but I got beaten in all these other events was 2016 after Matt Fraser won, and he won one event. So maybe that's a good omen.
Good, yeah, absolutely. It's a good mindset.
We don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much for doing this. Congratulations. It's well earned. It's deserved, and you're going to be a fantastic ambassador for the sport. And nothing but the best moving forward, man.
Dude, thanks, man. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Dude, thanks, guys.
Yeah.